Here's a question for you. What country just became one of Ukraine's most important long-range killers without sending a single new tank, jet, or artillery piece this time? Here's a hint. Their national animal is a beaver. Their winters could freeze diesel mid-air, and they once saved Ukraine's troops with jackets so warm they made Russian winter gear look like wet cardboard. Yeah, Canada. Ottawa is about to deliver one battlefield upgrade Russia really doesn't want Ukraine to have: better eyes. On December 16th, just last week, Canada announced another major aid package for Ukraine. This one was quiet, precise, and absolutely devastating to Russian forces. Canada committed more drones, more maintenance support, more winter gear, and surplus Canadian Armed Forces equipment, including AIM-7 and AIM-9 motors, and over $296 million worth of optical and infrared imaging and targeting systems, with 140 units already delivered. Now there's more coming in early 2026. And that last part, the imaging and targeting equipment, this is at the heart of today's story, because in a drone-saturated battlefield where everything is watching everything else and everything is trying very hard not to get blown up, the side with the better eyes wins. And Canada is giving Ukraine some of the best eyes in the world. Hey friends, Wes here. Stop by a Tim Hortons and grab a double-double or a Mickey if it's that time of the day. We're about to hang a Larry and talk about Canada again. When Canadians donate gear, they don't send junk. This isn't a bag of leftover camping flashlights from Canadian Tire. They send Wescam MX Series EO IR targeting systems, built by L3 Harris Wescam in Ontario. These are the same eyes used by NATO Special Operations Aviation, U.S. drones hunting ISIS, Coast Guard surveillance aircraft, and a laundry list of Western ISR platforms with budgets that would make Elon Musk blush. Now, Ukraine is receiving the MX-15s and the MX-20s, fully stabilized electro-optical infrared turrets that can spot, track, and identify and laser tag targets from distances Russia absolutely does not want to think about. These things don't just zoom, they lock on, they track, they stabilize through turbulence, shock, and vibration. They see through heat, through dust, and through night. If Russian forces thought winter was hiding their movements, they're about to get a seasonal greeting card from the Canadian Armed Forces that says, "Nah, mate, we see you." Yes, Canadians say mate. They stole it from the Australians. Don't fact-check that. Ukraine's battlefield is a labyrinth of drones, artillery duels, EW bubbles, smoke, thermal signatures, and fog that never seem to go away. But Wescam pods slice through that chaos. Here's what they actually do: spot Russian movement farther away than Russia can see them. If a Russian column tries to redeploy at night, these sensors pick them up before they even know they're being watched. They can guide artillery with near-surgical accuracy, with precision tracking and laser designation. Ukrainian artillery doesn't need to waste barrels of ammo trying to walk in rounds. The first shot hits. The second finishes the job. The third, usually unnecessary. It also makes drones smarter and more lethal. Many Ukrainian drones now carry these stabilized optics. I'm talking about the larger strike drones here, not the FPVs. It turns these drones into a reconnaissance platform that rivals what nations used to pay billions for. It also ruins Russia's night advantage. See, Russia tries to move at night because FPV operators go blind after sunset. Not every FPV has infrared or thermal optics, but these Wescam optics don't go blind at night. Canada basically told the Ukrainian military, "Enjoy the night shift, we got you." So let's talk about the funny part. Canada should be the last country doing this. When Germany donates weapons, it's strategic, it's necessity. Their entire future hinges on Russia not turning Eastern Europe into a security nightmare. When Sweden donates weapons, it's existential. They just joined NATO because Russia made the Baltic Sea feel like a Cold War theme park. When the UK donates weapons, it's doctrinal. London sees Ukraine as the front line of defending Europe. But when Canada donates, well, they're doing it because it's right. Canada is the friend who helps you move apartments even when they didn't promise to. They're the neighbor who snowplows your driveway at 4 a.m. because they were already out plowing theirs. There is no immediate territorial threat from Russia to Canada unless you count the melting Arctic. but there is no immediate strategic obligation, just moral clarity, just political will, and a Canadian national instinct to help people getting hurt by a bully. Say what you want about Canadian politics, but on Ukraine, they've shown spine. More spine than their dysfunctional southern neighbors. You remember this one? Ukraine needed cold weather gear. Canada showed up with jackets so warm they could keep a polar bear toasty on a bad day. Meanwhile, Russia was issuing winter coats that melted when exposed to wind. Now Canada's back, except this time, instead of parkas, they're delivering thermal imagers. Honestly, this is progress. Although somewhere in Kyiv right now, there's a soldier probably saying, "Thank God for those cameras, but if Canada has any more of those jackets lying around, we'd still take them." Hell, I'm in Michigan. Send me a jacket, Canada. My Texas blood hasn't acclimated to this frozen tundra. So let's dig deeper on this Wescam because it's a lovely piece of kit for Ukraine. The Wescam MX-15 and the MX-20 are serious hardware. They use multi-sensor turrets with high-res day cameras, thermal imagers, laser range fighters, laser designators, stabilized gimbals, automatic target tracking, and geolocation. These pods integrate into Ukraine's helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, drone boats, UGVs, larger drones, and even some improvised Ukrainian platforms. They're rugged, they're reliable, they're modular, and they're NATO standard. Oh, and they're combat-proven everywhere from Afghanistan to Syria to East Africa. Ukraine probably mounts them on everything short of bicycles at this point, and with 140 units delivered and more coming, this isn't some symbolic gesture. This is operational capacity. This is a fleet. So how does this impact Ukrainian tactics? Well, Ukraine's kill chains get shorter. The faster you find a target, the faster you kill it. Canada just shortened Ukraine's kill chain across the entire front. Ukraine's artillery becomes more lethal, better spotting equals fewer wasted shells, in a war where 155mm shells are as precious as Wi-Fi at a family reunion. That matters. Ukraine's drones become better hunters. A drone with a Wescam pod can do reconnaissance that used to require an entire manned aircraft crew. Russia loses freedom of movement at nighttime, in the fog, in the snow, in the smoke. None of that hides vehicles anymore. The Ukrainians can now see Russian troops like heat signatures on a Black Friday sale map. This is the part that needs to be said out loud. Canada is stepping up because the world is watching. They know that if Ukraine falls, autocrats everywhere take notes. The global security order gets softer and every mid-tier democracy becomes more vulnerable. Canada chooses to help not because they must, but because they can. And there's something admirable about that. And yes, it also gives the Canadian defense industry a meaningful role in Europe's largest war since 45. Wescam products are now part of Ukraine's warfighting backbone. This is a strategic legacy. Let's zoom out. Germany sends tanks, the US sends missiles, the UK sends long-range strike systems, Poland sends everything that isn't bolted to the floor, Sweden sends next-gen weapons and NATO doctrine, Canada sends the things Ukraine needs to use all of that more efficiently. Canada is the quiet force multiplier in the room. What do you think, Vlad? Is it a force multiplier? Snap out of it, buddy. Don't worry, the war will be over soon. This guy stinks. When's the last time you've had a bath? Anyways, Canada is one of those contributors who disproportionately amplifies everyone else. And here's the thing, these donations don't make some of the news anymore. So if no one is going to recognize Canada, then I am. Canada has already sent armored personnel carriers, trained Ukrainian recruits, delivered ammunition, donated drones, shipped cold weather gear, provided funding to expand ammunition production, delivered electro-optical and infrared targeting systems, supported maintenance and sustainment training, and increased its direct budgetary support of Kyiv. Nobody can say Canada isn't pulling their weight. Now, the next step may include supplying more UAVs, providing more advanced optics, delivering additional artillery ammunition, and potentially expanding on joint production of Canadian-made sensors inside Ukraine. Canada isn't drifting away from this war. It's shaking off the snow and sticking with it. And here's the doctrinal truth. War is no longer won by the loudest weapon. It's won by the weapon that sees first. Russia is still fighting a 20th century war. Canada is helping Ukraine fight a 21st century one. Canadian optics are now on Ukrainian drones. Canadian thermal cameras are spotting Russian troop movements. Canadian targeting systems are enabling Ukrainian long-range strikes. That's not military aid, that is alliance DNA shared across an ocean. And if you want to see more countries step up the way Canada has, you know the drill. Subscribe. Join the channel, because the more attention we bring to these stories, the harder it becomes for governments to look away. Anyways, consider subscribing because it helps keep the channel alive and healthy. And if you hate Mr. Putin as much as I do, consider subscribing. It really pisses this guy off. And as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Crimea is Ukraine.